All right, so for your test tomorrow, we're looking at your heading of water quality, which is pretty much if you're figuring out if the water is good or bad. The term chemical here refers to like if there are any chemicals, or toxins in the water. Physical is how turbid it is or how clear it is, or biological, meaning if there are any living things. So these three things are what you're measuring. To measure them, we look specifically at several things. So one, temperature, how hot or cold the water is. Understanding that the big concept here is that the colder the water, the more gas it holds. And the gas we're primarily interested in here is oxygen. The next one, therefore, is dissolved oxygen, which is probably the biggest measure of how good the water is. If water is full of oxygen, it tends to be less full of other stuff being bacteria and pathogens or contaminants that can make you sick. The next thing we looked at is power of hydrogen, or pH. On your pH scale, be very careful here. If something is increasing in acidity, it means the number is getting less. If something is increasing in alkalinity or basic, it is getting stronger. Okay, so once again, a low number or a high number ranging from 0 to 14 are both bad. You would want your water to be as close to 7 or neutral as possible. Then we're going to look at nutrients. The two main ones here being nitrogen and phosphorus, which we refer to as nitrates and phosphates. These are things plants need to do photosynthesis, and how they make their food, and they give off oxygen. So what you'll find is that if the number of nitrates or phosphates in the water level goes up, initially it benefits the plants pretty well. Let me scroll back up. One of the main issues with nitrates or any type of runoff is that it does tend to put effluents or chemicals in the water that can be bad for us. So your stuff coming from septic tank leakage, sewage leakage, or your phosphates from laundry or cleaning effluents can be really bad if they get in your drinking water supply. The next thing we measure is turbidity, which is simply a measure of how much stuff is in the water. Now that stuff can be good or bad, but it's still in the water. So we will say a water that's less clear has a higher turbidity. If the water is clearer or cleaner, it would have a lower turbidity. And last but not least would be your bioindicators. These are plants or animals that live in this body of water. And the general rule of thumb is that the more living things you find there, or the more diversity of living things you would find in a body of water, the healthier it is. If you're only finding one thing, in this case like algae or shrimp, because they're by themselves, is an indication that water source is not healthy because it cannot sustain a diversity or a big difference in life. Okay, we have two main laws that govern the water on our planet, and these here inside the continental United States: the Clean Water Act, which and the Safe Drinking Water Act. They both together help provide governmental control to the quality of water we drink, but also how much the access to how much pollution can get into our rivers, lakes, and streams. Okay, so you've watched this video in terms of how we clean water, in terms of we filter it, we let it settle, we add chlorine to it to make it treatable or potable. So let's look at some quick questions here about how it comes in. So here's question number 1. It's going to say a high concentrate of phosphate and nitrate. So when you see these two words, you got to think fertilizer. That's what it means, okay? And so agriculture, the term agriculture means farming or raising of cattle or livestock. Indicate water taking was unsafe. So if you went to a pond or a lake and you saw a dead fish, more than anything else, that's a pretty indication that if the fish can't survive in it, you probably shouldn't drink it. What would cause fish to die? Well, remember, fish are living things. They need dissolved oxygen. They breathe the oxygen that plants put in the water. So what would happen here is if your dissolved oxygen levels got low, your bioindicators die. And we told you that water that's high in dissolved oxygen tends to hold less contaminants. So why do we monitor the water quality? Well, because we drink it. We humans are very selfish. And as much as we love dolphins and crabs and shrimp, we love us more. So the main overriding goal is to protect humans. So there are two types of pollution. We have non-point and point. Keeping in mind that point source pollution literally means it's pollution you know where it comes from. And because you know where it comes from, it's easier to control. You just go to that company and tell them stop, and you call the EPA and give them a big fine. They will call it a very expensive ticket, and they'll stop it. Non-point source pollution, however, is very hard to control because you don't know where it's coming from. And so why is this hard to control? Well, it comes from a variety of sources. Okay. We looked at that already. So here's a good one here. The question is, which sample is the healthiest? So here we have relatively good temperatures, nitrates. You want your nitrates to be around 10. Keep in mind, nitrates means fertilizer or nutrients or in some cases poop. So you want the level to be really low. So right away, I'm going to look at level sample 3 because it has a low. 95 and 89, that's a lot of poop in the water. Let's see, bioindicators, very few, not good. Very few, not good. Many different. High biodiversity, that's a good thing. The turbidity is 1. Keeping in mind, with turbidity, the lower the number, the cleaner the water. Your pH is kind of high, and your dissolved oxygen isn't great. But on the flip side here, your pH here is super high. So that's very alkalinic, and this pH is super low. That's pretty much acidic. So based upon these factors, I would say if I had to drink one of these samples of water, I would go with 3 because it best fits into that category. So if my turbidity goes up, turbidity is stuff in the water. This is where this term eutrophication or algal bloom comes in. If nitrates get in the water, or phosphates or fertilizer, because they tend to be dark in color, they will increase your turbidity. As your turbidity goes up, your temperature goes up. The darker the water, the more heat absorbs. As your water gets darker, there's less sunlight, but there is fertilizer, those plants grow. Now we have algal bloom. Once that dissolved oxygen level drops down low, you now have eutrophication or anoxic water. So it's a chain reaction. Nitrates lead to turbidity, turbidity leads to temperature, temperature leads to dissolved oxygen leads to bioindicators lead to pH. And it's that chain. So the next step in this chain after turbidity is temperature. And so the question here is, well, I answered a different question, but the question is, how could it happen? Whenever you clear lime, that line clearing is erosion. Whenever there's erosion, that means that you're going to find less plant life. And that means that there's nothing holding the soil. And that will lead to more and more dirt washing into your rivers and lakes and streams. That's a pretty easy one. You can pause it and look at. So you can pause it and look at some of these if you want to try and go through it. How is the number of individuals in a species, right? So bioindicator, biological indicator, bioindicator. The more of them they are, the better your water. You want a negative impact, so that one. So who is more at risk for non-point source pollution? Well, if you're getting your non-point source pollution, you got to be downstream. So upstream means above it. If I live above a pig farm, by the time the water gets to them, it's already past me. So they are getting my crap. I'm not getting their crap. However, if I'm downstream from them, their crap is coming down to me. Remember I said in class, crap runs downstream? or downhill. So answer here would be B. What is the primary job of our water treatment plants? Well, it is to remove and kill dangerous microbes. The water will never be 100% clear. We don't remove all chemicals because we add chlorine. Okay, and it's not a flooding prevention. So it would be to remove organic matter like nitrates and sediment and dirt, and to kill any microorganisms done with chlorine. So a water technician reads a pH meter, and a pH meter or a pH paper is how you read the pH. And it went up from 5.8 to 8.2. Which one has more acidic? Keeping in mind on your pH scale, 0 is acidic, highly acidic, and 14 is basic. So the lower the number, the greater the acid level. So the answer here would be, what is it? A, Monday. So some of these I'm just going to let it go on the screen. You can look at them. But this is a good one. Which best describes the effect agriculture, so farming or growing animals, can have on the health of a river? Wherever you put agriculture, they're going to use fertilizer. They're going to have animals there. And so what can happen is that the runoff from fertilizers and pesticides, which is the poison they use to kill bugs, can pollute the river. If you read through these, a lot of these will make a lot of sense, guys. All right. So, and that was the last one. So please, go ahead, look at your vocabulary words. All right, so here's the some important words. So keep in mind, make sure you know what stewardship means. It means to take care of what you have. So that would be D. Contaminant is another for pollution, affluence, and portable. So look over your vocabulary words. We do vocabulary so much, and it's over and over and over again. It's because if you understand your vocabulary, you should be able to do really well on this test. So please study. I hope this helps you guys. I try to keep it short as possible. Look over your ed puzzles. You can't redo them, but you can definitely watch them again. You can click the YouTube button on them. And if you hit the YouTube button, you can watch the same videos on YouTube, and you can pause and play and do as much as you like. All right, see you all tomorrow. And by the way, happy Valentine.